Hi, this is Neve from nevek.com, and I want to share with you my thoughts around suffering because sometimes I work with clients and we identify a belief that somebody close to them is suffering, and we question the belief they're suffering. Is it true? And that seems ludicrous, understandably ludicrous to the client if they're not familiar with the work of Byron Katie or haven't been involved in workshops of that nature. Um, so, what Byron Katie would say, and what many evolved spiritual people would say, that nothing is true. So, if nothing is true and life is just a dream and it's not real, then of course there is no suffering. And I'm not there yet. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not so evolved. However, I love to question that belief that somebody is suffering. Here's why. Because, for example, I can share with you personally when my father was dying with cancer and was suffering, he was visibly suffering. I really that pained me to watch that and to hear the stories about how he was suffering and medically, and that the medication wasn't helping to the extent that it should. Um, for me, when I was attaching to that, he's suffering, how do I react when I'm believing that he's suffering? It brings heaviness. I feel disempowered, helpless, sad, and I'm walking with this weight on my shoulders, really. And if I look at who would I be without the thought that my father is suffering, and I sit with that and meditate on who would I be without the thought he's suffering in this moment, it opens up a whole new world, a lighter world, and I feel more energized. It doesn't mean that I'm really, numbing it out, the reality. It's just noticing that I come back to presence. I come back to just being able to connect with him, and the reality was he wasn't suffering for every single moment. I think a lot of people who were seeing him deteriorate were suffering at seeing that. And we shared a lot of beautiful moments towards the end. So it helped me so much to look for examples of the ways in which he was not suffering. And that doesn't mean that there was moments during that time where he did, but it wasn't all the time. And I think I would have really missed out on those moments if I had been more attached to how much suffering was going on. So, if there's somebody in your life that you're worried about that you believe is suffering because of their thinking or a medical condition, whatever it is, I really invite you to question that belief and notice how much lighter it feels without it. And actually, what's really interesting is we're able to be more present and more supportive towards the person than we would have been if we were weighed down by the belief. We're a lot more available to really help. So I hope that's helpful for you. If you've got any questions about it, please don't hesitate to email me info@nevek.com. Thanks.